So let's talk about balancing your tackle. And what I mean by that is from the rod right down to the hook. Let's talk in detail about how to get the best out of winter bomb fishing. Now, for a start, I'm using the Aero X7. Swap it around so you can see it properly. Aero X7 10 foot. I'd say a 10-foot rod is just right for bomb fishing because it gives you that versatility with the range that you want to fish, but also the size of the fish that you may be targeting. 10-foot rod, a little bit more beef in the butt of the rod, so if you do hook a bigger carp and it's under your feet fighting, you've got the power in the rod to actually lift that fish up and play it efficiently. Yet at the same time, nice soft action for all other sizes of fish. Reel, I'm using the Aero XR 4000. As I've already mentioned in my other video, an ultra fine quiver tip, which is really important with the main line that I'm using, which is a 6-pound main line, 020 line. I try to use a lighter line with this style of fishing than I do with my feeder fishing, simply because it's a bit more delicate. Everything's a little bit more delicate. I'm using ultra fine quiver tip, nice soft action rod, down to a 10-gram inline olivette. I can't tell you how good these are for this style of fishing. Ultimate stealth, land on the surface nice and smooth, but also, as bizarre as it sounds, a weight of only that size can cast quite a long way, so you can actually cover all your options with that setup. And of course it blends well with a light line as well. By using only a 6-pound main line, that means I can tighten up to this bomb on the bottom very quickly with the aid of that ultra fine quiver tip. Now what you'll see is that is a free running bomb. That's really, really important for bomb fishing. I do not want a bolt rig system, because often is the case that you've got your bomb on the bottom, your bait's on the bottom, a fish sucks in your bait, and it could be feeding on the rest of the bait around your feeding zone, let's say, and not moving that bomb. So I want to look for all those little indications. Again, this is why it's really important to use a soft quiver tip, and by having that inline system allows me to look for those indications of fish sat there with my bait in its mouth. That's why it's really important for an inline setup. And of course, the beauty about the setup what I've only got a little braid connection there. If I want to make the length of the rig even longer, I just pull the stop up. So immediately I can adjust the length of my hook length to suit the conditions I'm faced with. If I feel that I want to create more of a drop with my hook bait, almost if it's high pressure, the fish is shallow and I want to entice them to follow my bait down, I might all of a sudden cast out with a 3 or a 4 foot length tail. All of a sudden I've got more fish in my peg. I know they're on my bait. I know they're feeding confidently. It's time to bring it all down, right down next to the knot, and shorten it up to make it as efficient as possible to read those bites. 6-pound main line, going down to Aero Slick Silk 015. I'd say 015 is just the optimum diameter for all sizes of fish, along with a nice soft rod. You're not going to get broken unless you're very, very unlucky or your peg is snaggy. I'd say it's the optimum diameter for this setup, where we're using 16 or 18 hooks. Down to the bottom, I'm using an LWG 16 hook, which I think just blends perfectly with what I do on this kind of scenario, which is single grain of corn on a quick stop. You'll also notice I've got a yellow quick stop, which blends with the corn that I'm using. To be honest with you, I use yellow for everything, and even on white baits or different coloured baits, I think that yellow adds a little bit more attractiveness to the whole hook bait area. So don't be afraid to use a bright quick stop or a different coloured quick stop if it gives you that confidence, because you've got that extra colour within your bait. And that is it, a really nice simple setup, but very effective and well balanced at the same time.